In 1993, I started an IT consulting business wherein I took people from India and placed them on contract roles in New Zealand, in basically in programming. And these guys basically came from South India because that's where the major brain is, the programming brain of India. And basically, these guys were leaving India for the first time, and they had an English speaking education. They were reasonably smartly dressed, and they would come to New Zealand. But they were working in a foreign environment. They were working in an environment they were never used to. The offices in New Zealand were open plan, and they were working side by side with men, girls, boys, whatever. And around about 12:30, they would all break for lunch. And these boys would bring rice and sambar cooked at home, and they would open the tiffin and have the rice and sambar silently, and they were very diligent in the work. But the smell of sambar always was permeating in the room, and all the Kiwi boys and girls would, first they thought it was a joke, but then every day they started wearing away. And the evenings on Friday, they would go to the pub, and they'd ask these fellows, "Come to the pub." I don't drink. They never went. So they never really assimilated. They were always away from the community in spite of being in the community. And that was brought to my notice, and I would go and tell these fellows that go to the pub, but I don't drink, Sanjiv. I said, don't drink. Ask for a coffee, ask for a juice, ask for a glass of water. I work very hard. I said, I'm not talking about your work. We're talking about life outside work, assimilation. Years went by, and I always had this problem of assimilation of Indian programmers coming from Indian environment, assimilating in a foreign country. I had no problem assimilating because I came from an English speaking public school. I had no problem pronouncing names like Brian, Sarah, Josephine. A lot of people had problems pronouncing Western names. People coming from Calcutta, for instance, had a problem where there were few people because they're always used to living in, overcrowded spaces. And the wife, after the husband left for work, was, she got depressed because there was no one to talk to. So they're unable to handle living in a foreign environment. And I thought it would be a very good idea, years later, 10 years later, for Indians coming abroad to do a crash course on what they're going to get into a foreign environment, like a course on soft skills, what to wear, how you should talk, how you should behave, how you should mingle, and try and become friendly with your compatriots. So you become accepted as opposed to not accepted. And I went to Australia and I sat with various people with an academic background in English, and we charted a course on what we should do to do this, impart these skills rather to these people, that what they should do when they come here. And I remember coming to Delhi in early 2000, and I met some very senior execs in various IT companies, and I told them, I think to further your course, we need to do this. So they looked at me and they said, well, we'll talk about it. So I said, well, do you feel there's no need for it? So they said, Sanjeev, the world can't do without India. So I said, what do you mean? The world can't do without India. India is now the back office for the entire world. And all these companies are in any case working with India. And maybe 80 to 90% of the work is done in India, and 10, maybe 15% or whatever is done abroad at the customer's premises. So those guys in any case are trained. And now the other thing has happened, that people from abroad, from the overseas companies, they're sending their people here to make sure that the work that is being done in India is being done correctly. So we don't want training. Now we are training, or we would like the foreigners coming to India to be trained how they should assimilate to the Indian environment. So I said, really? You think that you guys have got it all? They said, yeah, we got it all. I mean, we really don't need to do anything. And then look what happened. I mean, look with Vietnam has jumped into the game. Philippines is very much into the game. All English speaking, smart, and they have no assimilation problems, or much less assimilation problems. So we think we know it all. I don't need to go there. They're coming here, so they should learn Indianism. Why should I learn Westernism? Now you can take it any way you like, but that's one facet to it. Go for it.